So hi guys, welcome to the channel Learn Concepts with Nikhil, Discover, Learn and Grow. So in this video, we will be learning about techniques of requirement elicitation. In the previous videos, we have learned about yeah. In the previous videos, we have learned about the requirement, what is requirement gathering, and types of requirements, right? Like stakeholder requirement, business requirements, functional and non-functional requirements, technical requirements, regulatory requirements, solution requirements, right? In this particular video, we will be learning techniques of requirement elicitation. That is nothing but requirement gathering, like how we will be gathering the requirements and what techniques we will be following for requirement elicitation or requirement gathering. So let's jump into the videos, guys. So requirement elicitation is the process of gathering, discovering, and understanding the needs and expectations of the stakeholder to define a product or system requirements. It's quite intuitive. You can understand by reading the lines only. Like you will be gathering the information, you will be gathering the requirements, you will be gathering the needs and wants of the stakeholders. In our case, it is business and clients. So we will be gathering the requirements from the stakeholders to define a product or systems requirement to build the best product, right? We will be gathering the requirements to build the best product. As a business analyst, as a product manager, we need to collect the requirements. We need to gather the requirements in order to build the perfect product which can satisfy the stakeholders, external stakeholders, as like clients or customers. It is the first step in the requirement engineering process, right? It is the first step in the requirement engineering process as well as software development life cycle. Without gathering the requirements, how can you build the perfect product, right? So it is the first step of the it is the first step of the requirement engineering process as well as software life cycle, software development life cycle. And ensures the final product aligns with the business goals and user needs. As we know before, like we are gathering the we are gathering the requirements in order to build the perfect product which aligns with the business objective and user needs, which satisfies the users. So there are various techniques in order to gather the requirements. Techniques of requirement elicitation. First is interviews. Interviews are nothing but one-to-one discussion. So we'll be talking in detail in the next slide. These are some of the techniques which I have used in my first company and my last company. So these are the techniques which I have used. So I'm sharing it all with you, right? First is interviews, where you will be having one-to-one discussion with the stakeholders. Next is workshops, which is nothing but group sessions. Next is surveys and questionnaires. We will be learning about all these. For the group of people, you will be sending the surveys and questionnaires. Next to document analysis. Document analysis is nothing but you will be analyzing the previous documents. Observation. You will be observing the stakeholders how they are interacting with the system करके and then you will be crafting the requirements. Next is prototyping, creating a UX and UI and UX mockup. So let's jump into the slides and techniques. First one is interviews, right? So requirement elicitation techniques help gather and refine requirements from stakeholders effectively. It's nothing but 1 minute, guys. Yeah. So you will be these techniques are there, right? These requirement elicitation techniques or requirement gathering techniques are useful in order to gather perfect requirements. Perfect and it is also useful for refining the requirements. You can so that you can you can draft the requirements perfectly precisely. Below are the techniques along with the description when to use and examples, right? First, interviews. Interviews are nothing but one-to-one discussions with the stakeholders to gather detailed insights about their needs and expectations. It's quite intuitive, right? In interviews, there are three types of interviews. One is structured interview, second one is unstructured interview, and third one is semi-structured interview. First, we will be talking about structured interview. I have not mentioned in this slide, but if you are writing notes, please note it. So structured interviews are the one which is completely formal. You will go to the stakeholder, you will be greeting him. Yeah, like you will be greeting him, good morning, and you will directly jump into the questions. It's like formal. You will directly jump into the questions and you will be taking answers. It's totally formal. This is A structured interview. Unstructured interview is like it's a friendly note. Kaisa ki you will be going to interviewer and as a friend you will be making him comfortable and then you will be asking questions. But sometimes the main drawback of structured and unstructured interviews is structured interview will be too formal. The stakeholders may feel uncomfortable with you, and unstructured interview is too informal. The stakeholders will be feeling too much comfortable with you, and you may go out of the topic and you may have some gossips and all. So to overcome these two interviews, we there is another type of interview called a semi-structured interview, which is a combination of structured interview and unstructured interview, sorry where you will be greeting the stakeholders. In our case it's clients and customers. So where you will be greeting the stakeholders in a friendly manner, and then you will be jumping into formal type of questions and answers. So it will be somewhat combination of structured and somewhat combination of structured and unstructured. That is nothing but semi-structured interview. So it is used when you need direct interaction is needed to understand the individual perspectives, right? Coming to business analysis, there will be clients, right? In clients, there may be partners. So in order to understand the perspectives of each and every partner, you will be having interviews that is nothing but direct one-to-one communication. Example is a business analyst interviews a product manager to understand the key features required in a CRM system, right? So he has taken only one-to-one interview. A business analyst has taken one-to-one interview of the product manager in order to understand the system and requirements. This is all about interviews. Next is workshops. Workshops are nothing but interactive sessions where multiple stakeholders collaborate to define requirements, solve problems, and reach agreements. It is also quite intuitive. You can understand by reading the lines, where you will be conducting a workshop and you will be taking the perspective of each and every stakeholder, right? In interview you will be having one-to-one discussion, one-to-one interview, but workshops are the one you will be gathering all the stakeholders. You will be making them into segments like UX team, development team, testing team, or otherwise clients, partners, and you will be making the workshop, and you will be collecting the requirements based upon those discussions. You will be facilitating the discussion. You will be engaging the stakeholders, right? So, and after that, you will be documenting the requirements. That is nothing but you will be reaching an agreement. 1 minute, guys. So, when to use? When multiple teams need alignment and consensus. Consensus is nothing but agreements. So, it is used when multiple teams gather and want to know their perspectives. When business analysts want to know their perspectives, right? Example, a brainstorming workshop with the marketing, sales, and development team to define product roadmap futures, right? So this is all about, as I said, you will be gathering the different teams and you will be making workshops, surveys, and questionnaires. A structured way of gathering feedback from large group of users and stakeholders, right? Yeah. So you will be in surveys क्या होगा कि you will not go to the stakeholders, or stakeholders will not come to you. You will be sending the questionnaires to them. For example, if your clients or stakeholders are in another country, sorry, in another country due to some meeting, and you want to know their feedback. So in order to tackle this problem, we will be sending the surveys or questionnaires. In surveys or questionnaires, you can write open-ended questions or close-ended questions. Open-ended questions are nothing but you will be writing a question and there will be no options for them. They can write any description, like if you write what is the one future you like in our product karke. If there is a question, they can write a total description, total paragraph. Those are nothing but open-ended questions where you will not give any options. But close-ended questions are the one which where you will be giving the options, like yes or no will be there, right? Yes or no or other karke. If you are male or what is your gender, male, female, or others karke. So that is called closed-ended questionnaire. Closed-ended questionnaire. So after collecting the data, after collecting the information from the surveys and questionnaires, you will be doing data analytics or data analysis in order to gather the requirements, right? Uh, that is the reason why I thought SQL in my channel, right? Business analyst needs to have SQL knowledge, Power BI knowledge, and Excel knowledge. In the future courses, I will be teaching you about Power BI as well as Excel. If possible, I'll also teach about Python. Python is also used for data analysis. So you will be doing data analysis and you will be gathering the requirements. You will be gathering the insights, right? You will be gathering the insights from the surveys and questions. So when to use? When collecting input from distributed teams or large audiences. Especially questionnaires and surveys are used in product-based companies. So when uh, when you are collecting data or information from the when you are collecting data or information from the large groups, then surveys and questionnaires are perfect. It is suitable for you, right? Next is what is the example? Sending an online survey to customers to understand their preferred payment options, right? You will be uh, you'll be taking the information, you'll be gathering the information, and based on the information that is gathered, you will be coming into some insights, and you'll be taking the requirements, and you'll be integrating those requirements into your final product, right? That is about surveys and questionnaires. Document analysis is nothing but you have did like as a business analyst, you will be doing many projects, right? In your previous project, you have created BRDC, and all these things, right? And there will be a document called a MOM, minutes of meeting, a meeting of minutes, I think so. It's meeting of minutes, where you will be writing a document of the complete workshop or complete session. For suppose uh, this is the platform, Zoom is the platform in which we are taking classes, right? So क्या होगा कि I am recording this session. 1 minute, guys. Yeah, I'm recording this session, right? I'm recording this session, and afterwards, now in order to refer this session, you cannot go through the total session, right? Session maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, or sometimes 3 hours or 5 hours. Session will not be like session will be taking so much time, and like you cannot go through the total session. So in order to tackle that problem, you will be writing a document called minutes of meeting, where you will be writing the summary of the session in that document. So you will be doing those document analysis, and you will be gathering requirements from those minutes of meeting document to when to use. When legacy systems compliance rules, for suppose regulatory systems are there, right? You will be building the project or product or software related to regulatory rules also. So they will be documenting some rules. You will be doing analysis of those rules also, and you will be gathering the requirements, right? So you will be gathering the requirements from complaints, rules, documents, existing workflows must be considered. Example is analyzing previous project reports and customer complaints to improve building systems, right? So your customers will also be giving some feedback in some document form. You will be documenting those feedbacks of your customers, and then you will be doing document analysis in order to gather the requirements and in order to gather the insights. This is about document analysis. And next is observation is nothing but how your client or customer is interacting with a system, or interacting with a particular system, or interacting with a particular software. It's called observing. You will be observing your client, right? You will be observing your client, or you will be observing your customer, how they are interacting with a particular system or particular software, or particular product. Watching users perform tasks to understand their workflow, challenges, and interactions, right? So for example, if my customer is like, I want to build something product for Instagram, it's an example. So I will be watching the customers closely who are interacting with the Instagram. What are their workflows? Are they delighted or are they frustrated? करके I'll be watching their workflows. I'll be watching their challenges. I'll be watching their interactions with the app, with the website, or with the software, and I will be taking the notes, and from that notes I'll be eliciting, or I will be extracting the insights and requirements which is needed for building the perfect software, right? When to use, when stakeholders find it difficult to express their needs explicitly. Sometimes stakeholders cannot share their needs, right? Sometimes stakeholders don't know what they need. So in that situation, you will be following a observation technique, where you will be gathering information and insights from their observations, from the observations of their reactions. Sorry. Example: observing a call center employee handling customer queries to identify inefficiencies in software, right? So customers will be saying the feedback, and you will be gathering the insights. So yeah, next is prototyping, creating a early UI UX mockups and wireframes to visualize futures before development. When stakeholders need a visual representation of the system, okay. Prototyping is nothing but it's not functional, but it looks as functional, right? So actually, in UX or UI design terming, there is a low fidelity mockup, high fidelity mockup, prototyping, and then functional software. So prototyping is the software, not software. We cannot call it as functional software. It is a non-functional. Yeah, you can call it as non-functional software, where it is used for visualization for the stakeholders, right? After seeing that prototype, you will be again observing their reactions. By those reactions and by their reactions, you will be again gathering some insights, and again building, and again gathering some insights and requirements to build the perfect product, right? When to use, when stakeholders need a visual representation of the system, so that they will be saying ki, whether they are satisfied with the product or not satisfied with the product, with the prototype. Example: developing a clickable prototype of mobile banking app to get user feedback, right? It is not functional, but it acts as functional software, right? You can design a functional, non-functional prototype on Figma. I will be explaining you about that too in the UX design course. If if I make the UX design course, I'll surely make that. So brainstorming is nothing but you will be gathering some team members, and you will be brainstorming with them. You will be taking their ideas. You will be saying your ideas, and basically it's brainstorming. You will be collaborating perfectly with them, right? Generating a broad set of ideas and solutions through collaborative discussions, right? Collaborative discussions hota hai, like you'll be having a collaborative discussions with the broad set of people, and yeah, you'll be taking the ideas and requirements from them, and you will be also giving your ideas. Next, when to use, when coming up with new features, enhancements, and solving complex problems. In brainstorming also you'll be following what do you say, like you'll be following prioritization techniques in order to, yeah, in brainstorming also you'll be following prioritization techniques in order to prioritize what features to build next करके. Example: a team brainstorming session to identify new ways to improve customer engagement, right? You will be gathering insights and requirements from the brainstorming session too. Next is challenges in requirement elicitation. What are the challenges? So sometimes unclear and changing requirements. Sometimes your stakeholders may not say, like sometimes your stakeholders cannot perfectly say what they want or what they need. Like in their mind, they have the clear picture of what to have, like what product will be satisfying their problem karke, it will be in their mind, but they cannot explicitly explain to us, right? They cannot explicitly explain to the business analyst or business analyst or product managers. So in that situation, to tackle that situation, we will be using observation technique. And sometimes the requirements also will be changing forever. Why? Because we are following agile methodology, right? Iterative methodology. So changing requirements also will be one of the main challenge. Next, conflicting stakeholder interest. Different teams prioritize different aspects. For example, you're building an ERP system, enterprise resource planning system. Actually, for my first project was on ERP system only. I was brutally, what you know, I didn't perform. I didn't perform only in my first project. That's the reason why I became perfect in ERP. in the concepts of ERP. So ERP enterprise resource planning में we will be having 7 to 8 modules. So like there will be HR module, there will be finance module, there will be marketing module, there will be technical module, there will be sales module and all. So if you are a business analyst in building, if you are a business analyst in building ERP systems, right? Finance team will be saying build our project first. Why? Because there will be no company if there is no finance. The sales team will be saying कि build our product first or build our service first so that we can go out and sell. Without sales there is no company करके. So there will be conflicting interest between different types of stakeholders. So you need to manage, right? You need to manage stakeholders. So even that can be one challenge, right? Yeah, even that can be one challenge. Next is communication gaps. For example, if you are working on a project related to finance, let's take fintech. If you don't know the if you don't know the terms like ledger, credit balance, debit balance, investment banking, and if you don't know the terms like these all, right? uh, there will be a communication gap between you as well as stakeholders. So, as a business analyst, you need to be a continuous learner and you should learn things very fastly and very often, right? Next is incomplete or missing information. Critical details may be overlooked. Incomplete or missing information, okay. In your requirements, sometimes requirements may be missed or sometimes there will be incomplete due to communication gaps and all. Time and budget constraints. Limited resources may restrict requirement exploration. It is quite intuitive, guys. So, if there is a budget concern, the budget concern or budget constraint, you will be having limited resources to explore requirement exploration options. So, yeah, if you have more budget, you can go. You can sorry, yeah. If you have more budget, you can go and you can gather more and more requirements, and you will be having more and more resources. But if you have less and limited budget, even requirements will be coming less. You cannot gather much requirements. Next is conclusion. Requirement elicitation techniques, right? Conclusion. Choosing the right elicitation technique depends on the project, stakeholders, and business goals, right? If there is a communication gap, if the stakeholder cannot explain the requirements clearly, observation is a good technique. It's an excellent technique. If there is a communication gap, even again prototyping is an excellent what you say excellent requirement, excellent technique. For example, if you want to do data analysis, then surveys or questionnaires is an excellent technique. So based upon the project, you need to choose a requirement elicitation technique, right? A combination of techniques is often used to ensure comprehensive and accurate requirement gathering, minimizing risks and improving product success. So, for any time you are gathering requirements, don't only employ one requirement technique, but instead employ different employ different requirement techniques and different requirement elicitation techniques so that you can get more and more requirements, you can gather more and more requirements, you can minimize the risk, and also you can gather more and more requirements to improve product and ultimately for the product success. So this is about this video, guys. In the next video we will learn some more about requirements and prioritization, I think so. Yeah. I sorry, forgot to say you. In the next video we will be learning about a framework called 5Ws and 1H. That is nothing but it, it is used for crafting the questions for requirements, right? 5Ws and 1H is one of the framework where you will be crafting the questions for requirement elicitation. So bye, guys.